This is how my day starts. Checking the newspaper hats for silverfish, dusting the mason jars full of baby teeth, and realigning the framed labels of apricot jars. I am 31 years old. I have a degree in museum science from Dartmouth. I keep to myself. I am the caretaker and sole employee of the Carl Jensen Museum of Whatnot. We, and by we I mean me, call it the Mao. We sell t-shirts, but no one's buying. In 1927, Carl Jensen passed away, and as is the custom when rich people die without heirs, he decided that the house he lived in would be made into a museum for the public. But Mr. Jensen had no art collection to speak of, no gold leaf furniture or snuff boxes from China. What he did have was 573 framed labels of apricot jars. And that is why I am here, in this echoing house, living with inanimate objects that someone cared for with more passion and tenderness than I have ever felt about anything. Animal, vegetable, or mineral. When any object is put on display, it is subjected to scrutiny. As a result, the ordinary is able to transcend its function, and viewers are forced to search for meaning in the mundane. When none is found, the object is often dismissed as being strange or offensive. This devalues the act of creating the object, and thus places a higher significance on the material thing, rather than the individual behind it. The Museum of Whatnot, by Kevin Wilson. I was hired just out of grad school, and so I packed my very few belongings and moved into my apartment on the 3rd floor of this mansion. It was just me and the stuff. So I bounced a ball off the steps of the grand staircase. I played hide and seek for hours, by myself hiding behind curtains. I drank a lot of bourbon. After about a week, I realized I was going crazy and decided I better put the ball and the alcohol away and start dusting. This is the suggestion book from the month of April. Weird. This place is really weird. Nice place, but the art is really weird. A very curious place. I will recommend it to my friends. Oh. I am very disappointed. My stepdaughter cried when she saw the chicken bones exhibit. Why am I supposed to care about these things? Tell me that. Weird. A snack bar would be nice. Weird. And get a fucking life. Well, as for me, I don't keep anything. The only thing I own outright not provided by the estate is a transistor radio that on good days can pick up radio stations from Eastern Europe. You see, whenever I sense an accumulation of items or a title of ownership in my name, my insides swell up. What am I going to do with these things? Where am I going to put them? So I get rid of them, and I feel calm again. I am a library patron, a renter without the option to buy a Salvation Army donator and a spring cleaner of the highest order. So why then? Why in the world do I work here? Surrounded by all of this. Well, I think it's easy enough. You see, this is art. And it's not mine. Most of all, I suppose, though I may not want things, don't mind touching them for a while. For the opening reception of the museum's new exhibit, I put out box wine, chessman cookies, a carrot and celery platter with dip, and blocks of cheese. I mean, this is the standard mouse spread. Any less would draw attention to the already shabby reception, and any more would make people think, all this food for this? Or maybe I'm just imagining it. Anyway, the exhibit consists of the letters of the alphabet, cut out of books and newspapers and magazines by a now-deceased teenager from Huntsville, Alabama. Well, the boy kept thousands and thousands of letters, multicolored, multi-font, G's, for example, and thick album folders with plastic sleeves. When the time came for him to write something, say a note to a pen pal, the boy spelt out the text using the letters from his collection, giving each note he wrote a ransom letter quality. So when the boy spelt out his suicide note with the letters from his collection, the museum had its next exhibit. It was my idea to extend the exhibit the length of the wall, with each letter shelved and lit individually. At the end of the alphabet is the suicide note. It's framed in a simple metal rectangle. It's a little morbid. But show me a museum that isn't. The board of directors huddles around each album folder. They comment on the thorough care the boy took, the precision of each cutout letter, the angle of each positioned bee. This is what they care about. They don't question the why, only the how. When they reach the end of the alphabet, they stare blankly at the suicide note for a few seconds, then walk back to the reception table for more celery sticks. Now, what I see when I look at all these alphabetized folders is how many letters it took, how many D's and O's and R's it took before the boy realized they would never say the things he wanted them to. How many letters before he felt he had enough to spell out that simple message he had been thinking about for months. I mean, I can just imagine him staring down at all his albums of language and knowing not a single bit of it could help. So he got rid of it. In the only way he saw fit, and this is where I find myself coming to terms with the piece. The feeling that the objects in your life, they just start to take over and fill up your life, and there's only so much you can do before you just have to give it all away. Or leave it behind. When everyone has left, the doors locked, the lights dimmed, I walk past each exhibit, making sure everything is accounted for and that nothing has been misplaced. Finish up at the new exhibit. My eyes linger at the suicide note. I don't think I belong here. I switch off the light and head up the stairs to my room, which is the same way I left it.